This is Billionaire Mondays. Every Monday we present you with another billionaire. Today we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about Peter Thiel. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello Aluxers and welcome back to our channel. We're back with another billionaire video, this time talking about the one and only Peter Thiel, who's best known for his involvement in the tech world, but also as a political activist and author. Born in 1967 in Germany, Thiel moved to the US with his family and had a string of law-related jobs before taking on the tech world. Now he's one of the most preeminent billionaires of Silicon Valley. The co-founder of PayPal is no stranger to controversy either, from decades-long lawsuits to his fervent support of Donald Trump. Peter Thiel was born in Frankfurt, then moved to the US and lived in Africa before going back to the States to study and start his business. At the age of 50, Peter Thiel is now involved in a variety of political and philanthropic pursuits and is on Forbes' 400 list as one of the richest people in the world. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. So without further ado, let's get to it, shall we? Here are 15 things you didn't know about Peter Thiel. Number 1. He studied philosophy and law at Stanford. Peter Thiel has a multicultural background. He moved with his family to the US as a child and even lived in Africa for a while, even though he was born in Frankfurt, Germany. His career trajectory, however, is very interesting, as it shows that you can explore many things in a domain rather than get stuck in a single job or position. Thiel was an undergrad at Stanford University, majoring in philosophy. He also received a JD in 1992 from Stanford Law School. Before becoming a speechwriter for former U.S. Secretary of Education William Bennett, he also worked as a clerk for a judge, as a securities lawyer, and as a derivatives trader. Number 2. He invested in Facebook back in 2004 and is now on the board of directors. Thiel is on Facebook's board of directors and has been a Facebook believer from its very early stages. So much so, he made Facebook's first outside investment of $500,000 back in 2004 and subsequently gained a 10.2% stake. In 2012, the company's shares were valued at $38 a share, which means that Thiel made a lot of money selling 16.8 million shares for a staggering $639 million. After selling what shares remained, he obtained more than $1 billion out of the company. Talk about a good investment. Number 3. He named his companies after Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. Whoever pays close attention to Thiel's ventures would have noticed something very interesting indeed. The entrepreneur is reportedly a big J.R.R. Tolkien fan and has named at least 5 companies after the Lord of the Rings. For example, Palantir, the big data product company, is named after magical stones that were helping characters communicate from a distance. He also sold Facebook shares through Lembas LLC and Rivendell One LLC, which are locations where the Lord of the Rings action takes place. This is one dedicated fan for sure. Number 4. He is very interested and invested in breakthrough technologies. Peter Thiel does not shy away from more unconventional or innovative technologies. On the contrary, he's known for investing in different breakthrough ventures. For example, there is Unity Biotechnology, a startup that aims to eradicate 1/3 of human diseases in the developed world. He also invests in space travel, artificial intelligence, and IT, and is even an advocate for seasteading, which proposes building communities outside territorial waters that could essentially float and be free from governmental regulations. He also encourages young people to start building businesses instead of going to college through the Thiel Fellowship. Number 5. His net worth is now at $2.5 billion. Peter Thiel is first and foremost a very clever investor. The Facebook investor also co-founded PayPal together with Elon Musk, and Palantir, the big data startup that actually brought him 2/3 of his net worth of $2.5 billion. Thiel believes that starting to invest early and actually focusing on building businesses is the way to go. That is why he gives $100,000 to young people that dream of becoming entrepreneurs, so they can learn right away instead of going to business school. He is number 315 on Forbes' Top 400 as of 2017, and he was named the 73rd most powerful person in the world back in 2016, as well as the 79th richest person in tech that same year. Number 6. He was accused of buying his New Zealand passport. Peter Thiel is a big fan of New Zealand and probably the most controversial supporter of the country. So much so that he obtained a citizenship in 2011 and bought a few houses there, although he said he didn't intend to live there full time. But here's the catch. According to the New Zealand Department of Internal Affairs, there was a dossier released on Thiel's case that called into question the way in which he obtained his Kiwi passport and implied that he had bought his citizenship. The illusions were strengthened by the fact that he had also made a purchase of a $10 million plot of land on Lake Wanaka, a pretty questionable reason for granting him citizenship under exceptional circumstances. Number 7. He spent millions of dollars in a lawsuit with Gawker for exposing him in 2007 for being gay. Well, apparently Thiel can hold a grudge and will stop at nothing for getting what he wants. In 2007, Gawker published the piece "Peter Thiel is Totally Gay, People," essentially outing him in the public eye. He has since spent a decade fighting to end Gawker, spending $10 million in a lawsuit, and in 2016, the site finally closed down for good. However, he's since then made an offer for the site. The acquisition would mean that he could control the website content and potentially erase all the stories they had published about his personal life. That's certainly an interesting way to go about the issue. Number 8. He's linked to the Cambridge Analytica scandal. While the media has focused largely on Zuckerberg in the Cambridge Analytica scandal, he's not the only one involved, or should we say, responsible. The illegal use of more than 50 million Facebook users' data is connected to Peter Thiel as well. Not to mention he's also Trump's biggest supporter in the tech sphere, and his company, Palantir, was also connected to the scandal. A team of Palantir employees developed a mobile personality quiz that obtained data from users, and the data was subsequently used in political campaigns. Yes, we're talking about the quiz that asks to connect to your Facebook account. Number 9. He donated $1.25 million to Donald Trump's presidential campaign. As we've said by now, Thiel is no stranger to controversy. He's a supporter of President Donald Trump and a notoriously conservative tech magnate. Thiel even spoke at a Republican National Convention as a part of Trump's campaign, and he supported Trump after the president's poor treatment of women was revealed during that campaign. Thiel donated $1.25 million to show his support. However, according to Michael Wolff's Fire and Fury inside the Trump White House, Trump stopped answering Thiel's calls after the election. But are we really surprised? Trump is out for himself, after all. Number 10. His most expensive house is worth $27 million. Thiel also loves real estate and, of course, owning luxury homes. So it's no wonder that he's the owner of a $27 million home in Maui, which is the highest amount paid for a single-family property in the area. The sellers were Dan Huish and his wife, who bought it for around $19 million back in 2006. The 4,500-square-foot home sits on 1.7 acres of land and offers views of the ocean. He's also invested in renovations and a private pool. And since we're talking about amazing billionaires, why don't you check out our 15 Things You Didn't Know About Elon Musk video, since he was Thiel's partner in creating PayPal. Number 11. He was portrayed in The Social Network and Silicon Valley. The venture capitalist's fame bought him quite a few awards and also recognitions from the movie industry. He won the TechCrunch Crunchy Award of Venture Capitalist of the Year back in 2013 and was named a Young Global Leader by the World Economic Forum in 2007. He was first linked to the entertainment industry back in 2005 as the co-producer of the movie Thank You for Smoking. He was also portrayed by Wallace Lanham in The Social Network, which he did not appreciate, calling it wrong on many levels. He also inspired the character of Peter Gregory in Silicon Valley, a production of HBO. Number 12. One of his companies, Palantir, had the CIA as an investor. Peter Thiel's big data company Palantir is headquartered in Palo Alto, California, and initially had a hard time finding investors. They were warned by other venture capitalists that the company would be a failure, and yet Thiel invested $30 million in this endeavor. Another early investor was the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency with $2 million. Since then, the company's most famous projects have been Palantir Gotham, which helps counterterrorism analysts in the U.S. government, and Palantir Metropolis for bankers and the financial services industry. Number 13. He invested money in unethical medical research. It seems that scandal keeps following him everywhere, or rather, he's causing quite a stir with his more controversial investments. Back in 2017, he backed up Rational Vaccines, a research and development company in the medical field, which used a weakened virus, a practice that is considered unsafe by U.S. regulations. The genital herpes vaccine violates medical standards, and Jonathan Zenelman, chief of Johns Hopkins Bayview Medical Center Division of Infectious Diseases, has criticized it, declaring it could actually kill patients. Number 14. He is very libertarian in all of his views. If it isn't obvious by now, Thiel follows a very strict libertarian viewpoint. In his college days at Stanford, he actually founded a libertarian newspaper and continued blending his political views with his tech career. Aside from his support for Trump, he also became very enthusiastic about the idea of a floating community called Seastead. This community would be free from any state laws as it could float on water. In fact, he gave $1.7 million to the Seasteading Institute, but has since given up on the idea since he realized it would be an unfeasible plan. You think? Number 15. He was a chess champion as a teenager. Not many people know this about Peter Thiel, but he was a gifted chess player as a child. His passion for chess began at age 6, and he was even featured on the list of the strongest U.S. chess players under 13. Thiel is a Life Master, a title given by the United States Chess Foundation, and had a USCF rating of 2,342 in the year of 1992. The entrepreneur no longer competes, but he has accepted a few appearances, such as the opportunity to make a ceremonial first move in the World Chess Championship back in 2016. And that's all for today, Aluxers. Peter Thiel is an amazing entrepreneur and a great influencer on the political stage, whether you agree with his views or not. Thanks for watching, and before you go, we're curious. What would you invest in if you had Peter Thiel's resources? Let us know in the comments. And for sticking with us all the way to this point, for being a true Aluxer, you get a bonus fact. Number 16. He plans to move to New Zealand if the apocalypse comes. This seems like it's taken directly from a movie or a comic book or something, but it's actually real. The venture capitalist loves Lord of the Rings so much that he became a New Zealand citizen, which is where the movies were made, or does he have another hidden motive? Apparently, one of his New Zealand homes has an apocalypse-style shelter, which prompted some people to wonder if he knows something the rest of the world doesn't. Reportedly, a number of Silicon Valley billionaires are preparing for an apocalypse due to the harsh political climate and Trump's rise to presidency, and New Zealand seems like a pretty nice place to hide during such an event. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxer. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. If you want more, we handpicked these videos you might enjoy, or head over to Alux.com for the best in fine living content on the planet. Be a part of the largest community of luxury enthusiasts in the world and tell your story.